French. The signs are all in French. The menus are in French, but a lot of them have the English, sort of subtitles underneath to help us out, because quite honestly, Quebec is a big one of their biggest industries is tourism. So they do have to, and they get a lot of English speaking folks there. So they cater to the English speaking. But a couple of things that Gary and I learned while we were in Quebec. Number one, we had been there once before, but we didn't stay in the city, and we had only visited for a brief period of time. So we kind of wanted to go back and really get the city experience. So we stayed at a Old Quebec. The city's kind of divided into Old Quebec and New Quebec. But one thing about Quebec City is it is extremely hilly, as in think San Francisco, some of these really steep hills. I am convinced that we did a tremendous amount of walking. I mean, we virtually walked everywhere. There was only one. We went to Montmorency Falls, which is about an 8-mile drive outside of the city, one afternoon. That was the only time that we actually took the car out. Everything else was by foot. I think the first night we went up to visit the plains of Abraham, and it was 310 steps to get to get from one level up to the next level. I kind of felt because at some point, but there's not a lot that's flat in Quebec City. So consequently, we saw very few people who were overweight. We saw very few smokers.
Right.
You really can't navigate the city.
We know the smokers and the overweight folks because they were the visitors.
Yeah, they were.
I think they realized what they were getting themselves into once they got there, because I'm not so sure they realized how difficult it was to navigate your way around the city.
Yes.
Walking.
Yeah, it's not extremely accessible. I will say that, and I actually also only ever saw one person using a wheelchair and one person using a walker. Again, it's just, even the hotel we stayed at, you walked in the front door to get to the main lobby. You had to go up, what would you say, Gareth, 35 stairs, something like that. It was, a tremendous. Yeah. So we were getting all of our steps in. Gary has a Fitbit, and our friend Liz, who was with us, Liz and Steve Veit, Liz has a Fitbit, so we were doing lots of steps. Right. But it was a good workout. It was. It was an excellent workout. I felt like I didn't run at all when I was there, but I felt like that was okay. Right. When I ran, and I will tell you this, Gare, I ran whenever it was, I guess Monday night when I came back, and I was in great shape. I had an excellent run. I was burning it up. So So it was a great time, and we celebrated our 38th wedding anniversary. So I did on last week's show play an anniversary song to us. You also celebrated your 3-year anniversary of your heart surgery.
Yes.
So over at Bay State Noble Hospital. So Bay State Hospital, not. And Bay State
tested my heart yesterday, so I have at least another month.
Yeah. There you go.
Once a month I go on my cardiologist gives me a test. He said, in order for you to determine when you need your next valve replaced, he said you go onto the treadmill and you put it at 3.5 miles per hour, put it up to 15% elevation, which is climbing in Quebec.
And is it really? So that's a pretty high, very high elevation.
Like this. It's okay. Yeah, and you have to do it for 3 minutes, and if you can do it without stopping or having significant leg cramping and just winded, then you don't need your valve replaced. So I figured I have another month.
So you do this once a month?
Beginning of the month.
On the treadmill. First of the month on the treadmill.
Yeah. I figure I'll do it once a month, and that way I know that I'm not waiting too long. I'm not procrastinating. So it worked out good.
Okay.
I did it yesterday, so I got another month.
All right. So in 1 week you've celebrated your wedding anniversary, your heart surgery anniversary, and now your 5-year anniversary with WSKB.
Right. Wow.
I know, right? There is a lot going on.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to take a short break. Then we're going to get into the topic at hand today. So Gary, the next 2 songs are just for you. They're both from Top Gun. This is one in the Gorman household. This is a film. We pretty much have the film memorized. I would.
Yes, we do.
Wouldn't you say, Garrett?
Oh, yeah.
So, and this first song, which is it's "Danger Zone" by Kenny Loggins. This is the sort of the theme song when the movie opens up, and we have a tradition in our house when we watch Top Gun, which is everybody places everyone. It's a major ordeal, but Gary cranks this song up pretty much as loud as he possibly can. So, Gary,
as I do.
This one is for you. This is in honor of the birthday of Tom Cruise. So it's Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins. We will be back.
All right.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 6:34. You're listening to WSKB 89.5 FM radio for the Westfield masses. It is Wednesday, July 3rd. My name is Tina Gorman. I'm your Wake Up Wednesday host, and we are broadcasting live from Westfield Technical Academy, Studio 120. Behind the boards, behind the glass, is the chairman of the board, Pete Coles. Good morning again, Pete.
Good morning. I don't know if you noticed, but we have a Wake Up Wednesday background for
You do, and I was
Look.
actually going to comment on that. I love that background. I think it's awesome. I wanted to finish my little intro thing, and I thought, oh, that is so cool. Yeah, so good job, Pete.
Snuck it in there.
There you go. I love it. And with us this morning is
I
our...
better bring my sunglasses.
I know, right? Is
Pete,
our-
the sun's coming up.
It is.
The sun's
It
right in my
is.
eyes.
I love it. I think
It's actually in the
so
right direction because the
great.
sun is coming up that way behind the building. So.
It is.
There you go. And that other voice you hear is our resident chiropractor, Dr. Gary Gorman, who joins us on the first Wednesday of every month. He's with Trinity Health of New England Medical Group. Welcome again, Dr. Gorman.
Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Gorman.
He's waking up here. So, you know what, Gare? I realized that I don't know if I ever asked you this question on air. I might have way back when. But, you know, one of the first questions that I typically ask my guests is, and I really want to get into, we've started talking about your journey through
Yep.
the profession of chiropractic.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the things that I typically ask all my guests are, you know, how did you decide to become a chiropractor? Because you probably, when you were in the third grade, who did you have in third grade? Miss Flanagan?
No, fourth grade.
Oh, fourth grade. But so, all right, we're going to go to fourth grade. I usually
Okay.
use third grade, but when you were in the fourth grade and Miss Flanagan said to the class, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm guessing that you did not say, I
did
want
not.
to be a chiropractor.
As a matter of fact, I visited Miss Flanagan within the past couple of years,
Yes.
and she reminded me that I told her that I wanted to be a priest.
There you go. And so not exactly in the same...
No, I
Category
veered
here.
off track somewhere along the line.
That is hysterical. So
Yes.
see, because I usually say that to my guests, you know, and the only person who I wasn't sure about was when I interviewed Captain McCabe, Mike McCabe, because I said to him, well, maybe you did say you wanted to be a police officer when you were in the third grade. And he said, no, I did not. But, you know, most people have, not most, a lot of people have professions that are lesser known.
Yeah. Oh,
Certainly
sure.
chiropractic. And I have to be honest, I remember when we started dating and I didn't even know what a chiropractor was.
Yeah.
I had never, because I didn't have any personal experience. So share that with us.
Well,
How
you know-
did you even know about chiropractic?
Well, you know what? I was first exposed to chiropractic from my dad, and I didn't know what chiropractic was as well either. My father injured his back somehow, and I don't even know at that point in time. I don't think he was working with the tools. He was a road supervisor for a huge electrical contracting company in New Jersey, and somehow he hurt his back. And one of his guys on the job who worked for him said, "You should go see this chiropractor in not too far from
Yep,
where we
in New
live."
Jersey,
And
yep.
so my dad went to see him, and after a few sessions, he was feeling better, and his back pain resolved,
Okay.
and that was great. Not still understanding what chiropractic was or
Mm-hmm.
what a chiropractor did, and I was very active in sports my entire life, and to this day, and I remember I injured my neck playing freshman football, but it wasn't actually in a game. We were doing a drill, and looking back on it, I felt as though I sustained a whiplash type of injury. I felt a sudden onset of pain. It was in my shoulder up into my neck, and shortly thereafter, I get these blinding headaches where you would be in gym class yelling, and all of a sudden, I don't know if this has ever happened to anybody, where you're yelling and cheering and doing what you do in gym class, and all of a sudden, everything goes black, where you just have to
Wow.
actually stop, and then everything would come back. And I said,
Yeah.
wow, this is weird.
Yeah, that's not normal.
And
for
so I went to my dad, and he told the chiropractor about it, and he said, why don't you bring your son down to see me?
Okay.
So that was actually the beginning of it. I became a chiropractic patient when I was in ninth grade.
Okay.
Still never giving one thought about chiropractic as a profession. And so fast forwarding, I always kid around and say I majored in girls and track, girls and sports in high school. I was very social. Academics to me was okay. I was in the middle of my class. I wasn't,
Yep.
I was an average student, a
Yep.
good student. Better student if I decided I wanted to put some time and effort into studying. But,
Yes.
that was okay. So as we approached the end of high school and we were graduating, my parents both were not college educated. My dad was a journeyman electrician, so he went into the Navy, and then he went through the apprenticeship program, which is a 4 or 5 year program to learn how to be an electrician.
Yep.
My mom wanted to go to college, but she lost her dad in a mining accident when she was like 9 or 10 years old. I digress for 1 second, but it gives a background of
absolutely.
where my reference points were.
Yes.
And so I was just talking about this about my mom, because I took her for her last birthday while she was alive. I went back to where she grew up and saw exactly the environment and the culture that she grew up in.
Which was kind of in central Pennsylvania,
yes,
right?
and
Coal
very
mining
much of a
country.
coal mining town and a coal mining community. And so she lost her dad, and so her mom had 4 children. My mom was like 11 at the time when her dad died, and so
college was not in the cards.
And her sister also wanted to go. I think my mom wanted to be in education, or her sister wanted to be in nursing.
Yep.
And so they moved down to where my Nana's brother lived in northern New Jersey, and my mom and her siblings had to work to help her mom put food on the table.
Yep.
And so back to me. Going through the college application process was something that I didn't really know how to do, and you
were kind of left to your own devices.
Because my sister went to college for 1 semester. She was a year ahead of me, and decided to come home, and she just, for whatever reason, so I started applying to a couple colleges, and my coach helped me a little bit, but I ended up getting into a college called East Stroudsburg State College because I had run up there. The coach was very interested in me, and they had a very strong Division II running program. And a lot of the runners and the athletes that I knew, and some personal friends that I knew, went to college there from either our high school or from our area. So
it was a good school.
Natural.
Yeah.
It was a
college,
natural.
Pennsylvania State College.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. So I said to myself, going in, I said, dentistry sounds like a good profession. Don't know where that came from, because I didn't really necessarily love going to the dentist. But so I kind of started off as a freshman taking some bio courses, and that was okay. And I enjoyed biology, and I enjoyed science per se. And then shortly thereafter, we decided to transfer colleges, and
we being you,
my best friend and I met in
yours.
college. We knew each other in high school, but we actually met in college, became friends, and we decided to transfer down to your college, to Madison College at the time, and it became James Madison University somewhere along the line. And I don't think I was unlike any other college student going into college, not really understanding what I wanted to do the rest of my life. And I tell my students at Springfield College the same story. Don't worry about that. You have 2 years at least to kind of figure something out. And that's what general ed college courses are for. It exposes us to certain materials, certain topics and subject matter that
you
we
didn't really even
never
know,
given a thought on.
Didn't know existed.
So you know what? I went down to James Madison, and I decided I want to be a business major. And I said, geez, maybe I'll open up my small business, a business course sometime. So I started taking some business tracks. I took accounting and marketing and management. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then I had a change of heart, and I really fell into health science. And I just remember taking my first anatomy class, and I said, oh my God, this is absolutely fascinating. And I had a falling in love relationship with sciences, not more the hard sciences of biology and physiology. I just really wasn't as strong. I didn't really love chemistry. I took the chem courses that I needed to do what I needed to do, but I wasn't a chem major or a physics major. But I loved the biology. I was a hands-on guy. I loved the macro anatomy. Put your hands on it and figure it out. I wasn't as much enamored by microbiology and the cellular level, although I've come to learn a lot more about it and realize how important it is understanding it today. So we were in college there, and we had a tradition of going to Florida on spring break. So we went down my sophomore year with group of friends, and we stayed in Fort Lauderdale and did our thing. And the following year, my friend Buddy and I decided we're going to go stay in the Keys. His brother and sister-in-law lived in the Florida Keys, and his brother was a chiropractor and had a very successful business in the Keys. So we went down to Marathon, Florida, at spring break of 1978 or whatever it was. And I, within 1 week of just spending time with Chris, Dr. Chris Friend, I said, and him encouraging me to know that I could handle the course load and I was smart enough to take on this profession, I left spring break of my junior year and said, I know what I want to do the rest of my life. So I came back to Madison, and I may have even told you that. I said, I want to be a chiropractor.
Well, I know that there was a time, Garrett, that you were thinking public health, physical therapy,
athletic training,
chiropractic, athletic training. So you had certainly narrowed it down within the healthcare profession.
Yes, I
then
did.
it was more a matter of, but I remember the one thing that I think my recollection when we were in school back then and you were making that decision that kind of pushed you over the edge between physical therapy and chiropractic was chiropractic, you would be able to write your own orders and decide how you wanted to treat a patient. And with physical therapy, at least at that time, it was all under the auspices of the attending physician.
That's
so
right.
you had to kind of get permission for what you wanted to, how you wanted to treat a patient.
That's right.
And you really wanted
and
the
that still goes on
autonomy.
today. I mean, when I refer out to physical therapy, which I do for certain conditions, and we have a nice working relationship, we still have to write prescriptions for physical therapists in order for them to bill the insurance company for their services rendered. So that has not changed. And I don't know how I knew about that at that time, or whether or not somebody had told me about that.
And maybe it was Dr. Friend who had told you,
exactly.
you know, and maybe I don't know if that had to do with his decision, but
and that appealed to me to have that independence and not have to be. Because at that time, chiropractic and medicine were really at odds with one another.
Yeah, I want to let's put that on the back burner because I want to get back to that, and we need to take a break. But I want to pick up there, sort of how that has changed over the years.
Yes.
So it is 6:47. You're listening to WSKB 89.5 FM radio for the Westfield masses. My guest this morning is Dr. Gary Gorman, our resident chiropractor with Trinity Health of New England Medical Group. This song is also from Top Gun. This is You've Lost That Love and Feeling by the Righteous Brothers, and in honor of the birthday of Tom Cruise.
You never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips. And there's no tenderness like before in your fingertips. You're trying hard not to show it, but baby, I know it. You lost that love and feeling. Oh, that love and feeling. You lost that love and feeling. Now it's gone, gone, gone. Oh. Now there's no welcome look in your eyes when I reach for you. And girl, you're starting to criticize little things I do. It makes me just feel like crying. 'Cause baby, something beautiful I did. You lost that love and feeling. Oh, that love and feeling. You lost that love and feeling. Now it's gone, gone, gone. Whoa, baby, baby, I'd get down on my knees for you. If you would only love me like you used to do, yeah.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes and Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 6:52. You're listening to WSKB 89.5 FM radio for the Westfield masses. My name is Tina Gorman. I'm your Wake Up Wednesday host, and we are broadcasting live this morning from Westfield Technical Academy, Studio 120. Behind the boards, behind the glass, is producer Pete Coles. Good morning again, Pete.
Good morning.
And our guest this morning is our resident chiropractic physician, Dr. Gary Gorman with Trinity Health of New England Medical Group. Good morning again, Gary.
Well, good morning.
So we're kind of going through how you chose the profession of chiropractic.
Right.
We've been discussing that, but I did want to get back to something that you mentioned just before we went on break, and that is, how has chiropractic evolved over the years that you've been involved? And you've been involved now for over 35 years. So
Yep.
you've really seen some changes
Yeah.
in terms of how chiropractic is viewed by the traditional medical professionals. How has that changed?
Well, it has come a long way. Interesting enough, when I was in chiropractic college, they were at the tail end of, or wrapped up within a few years prior to that, a lawsuit. It was called Wilk et al. Chester Wilk was a chiropractor. There were 7 chiropractors that took on the American Medical Association and a lot of its sub-associations, like the Association of Radiology Medicine. And anyway, the long and the short of it all is that the American Medical Association spent a lot of money to defame chiropractic and really to eradicate chiropractic in the United States. They had this very precise and well thought out plan to really destroy the reputation of chiropractic in the United States.
Okay.
And these 7 chiropractic plaintiffs got an attorney. And his name was Attorney George McAndrews. He happened to be the brother of the president of our college, Jerry McAndrews.
Oh, that's right. This
And
is all
so,
coming back
yeah,
to me. I had
Jerome
forgotten
McAndrews
about
was
that.
our
Yeah.
president,
Yes.
and
Yes.
his brother took
the
these
case.
plaintiffs, took the case on, and I think it may have gone to the Supreme Court,
Okay.
and we won.
Okay.
And
So they said,
and they
back
had
off.
they had to make restitution, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they did their very best, because there was really a threat involved, I think, at that time, because they realized that their patients were going to these chiropractors and starting to be helped with certain conditions that may not have benefited quite so much under the care of the primary care physician or whoever these doctors were seeing. So with all that said, we carved our niche out, and we weren't perfect.
Yeah.
What was going on with my colleagues back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and even I'm sure it goes on today, is that, say for argument, you come in with a mid-back problem.
Okay.
And so, Dr. Smith starts working on you and gets some improvement. And then you say, gosh, Dr. Smith, I've suffered for asthma for years, and I haven't had to use my inhaler in months, and I'm feeling so much better. All of a sudden, there's this leap of faith, or this leap to that your mid back pain went away, and now I could treat and take care of asthma. So there were some claims that my colleagues were suggesting and making that weren't really backed by clinical research at the time.
Understood.
And I could get into a lot of theory of chiropractic, or actually how chiropractic works, and that will be for another session. But the long and short of it all, I stay in a safe area of telling my patients and telling anybody who I talk to that I take care of what are called non-surgical musculoskeletal injuries. So I've cut out a piece of the healthcare pie of dealing with musculoskeletal disorders, muscles, bones, ligaments, joints, tendons, non-surgical stuff.
And not necessarily just backs.
Nope.
I mean, back, neck, but
back, neck, some
hips,
extremity work, shoulders,
knees,
etc.
Yep.
Now that created some tension with the physical therapy profession because we've carved out the same pie, the same piece of the healthcare delivery system, but we come at it from a totally different educational background and different perspective. And so consequently, I personally feel that we could live symbiotically. We could live very comfortably together. I could work in a physical therapy group and we wouldn't duplicate services. And I feel that I could work very comfortably together and learn from them. They could learn from us, and the patient would benefit the most as a result of pooling our resources and our expertises together for the best and well-being of the patient. So that's kind of where that goes.
Gary, do you think that that the relationship between chiropractors and the medical profession as a whole does that vary depending on what part of the country you're in? Do you think, and I know you're in the Northeast, and that's where you've done really all of your practice, but just based on other colleagues, do you find that it's different here than?
I think so.
I don't know,
you know
Midwest,
what?
Deep
I
South,
think so.
out west?
Massachusetts is a very progressive state.
Yes.
And you know what? I think really this probably falls in line with cultural biases and cultural differences in different parts of the country for all subject matter and topics.
Okay.
There are parts of the country that doesn't have any understanding that smoking is bad for you.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? And segregation and bigot, all the things that we're seeing on the news today.
Right, exactly.
I suspect those morals and those cultures and those biases and those thought processes go with chiropractic and medicine. Is it oil and water, or does it make a beautiful relationship?
And I will say, we both went to undergraduate school, as you mentioned, down in Virginia at James Madison University. But one of the decisions to move to Massachusetts after you graduated from chiropractic school was because Massachusetts has that reputation of being a progressive state.
Yeah.
And if I had my druthers at the time, we probably would have moved to Virginia. I really loved it, but I think in retrospect, you absolutely made the right decision. I highly doubt that if we were in Virginia, maybe by now you'd be in a situation where you could be. I mean, you actually work in a medical group,
right?
You work with.
And if you had asked me 20 years ago, if I would have been in a large group medical practice, I would have thought you were crazy. I would have said, "How's that ever going to happen?"
Yeah, chiropractors.
And very few. When I first came in practice in the '80s, early '80s, started practicing here. I really. For whatever reason, I had the personality to befriend medical physicians.
Yeah,
I had a really working relationship with the late Dr. Stephen Paul, a neurosurgeon out of Holyoke, and he would refer cases to me. I think he was so far ahead of his time at the time to understand and to be open and willing to learn about chiropractic. So I think that, but now we have some inroads in the VA system, and there's some places where there's chiropractors working in VA hospitals, and so there are inroads being made. I don't, in chiropractic here, there are 3 chiropractors in Trinity. When it was Riverbend, there were 3 of us in the entire group.
Yep.
It's not like we have a ton of chiropractors, but we have a strong presence within our organization. I think we're the only 3 chiropractors in the entire Trinity organization at this stage. So where that goes, nobody knows. But when I do my travels and when I go to conferences and things, I do feel that I'm in a unique and a very special place, and I've had an opportunity that I'm into my 16th year at Trinity, Riverbend, now Trinity, that I don't think a lot of my my chiropractic colleagues have had that opportunity. And I just absolutely love the interaction with my medical colleagues. I see every day clinical cases that we work on together as a team, and that really, I feel, the patients benefit the most as a result of that.
Well, let me ask you this just to wrap things up
Yeah.
there. So do you think in this day and age, when you first started in chiropractic 30 plus years ago, chiropractic was considered an alternative therapy?
Yeah.
Do you feel like in this day and age, let's just say for the state of Massachusetts,
Right.
do you think that it's still considered an alternative therapy, or do you feel like it's more mainstream?
No,
at
I
this
think
point?
it's much more. I think it's mainstream.
You think it's
There's no
mainstream at
question
this point?
about it. Yes.
Okay.
You know, our educational institutions have gotten much better. Our course curriculums, and we could start there at the next
At the next
month.
session. Yeah, absolutely.
Because then I could go into that and my educational experience at Palmer, and then getting out and the different jobs I've held. But
Yep.
I think we are definitely mainstream. We are a primary part of the healthcare delivery system in Massachusetts. And as long as we know where we fit in, I think that really is important. And I think my medical colleagues are the same way. You know, my primary care physicians friends don't do OBGYN, and
Yeah.
they don't do surgery. And, you
Yes.
know, we have to know our niche in healthcare and where we fit in and where we have to refer out. And I think that's important for all of us to understand.
Okay, we'll leave it at that for this session. My guest this morning has been Dr. Gary Gorman, chiropractor with Trinity Health of New England Medical Group. It is 7:02. You're listening to WSKB 89.5 FM, radio for the Westfield masses. We'll take a short break and be back.
What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, do you know I got it? All I'm asking is for a little respect when you come home. Just a little bit, hey, baby, just a little bit. When you get home, just a little bit, mister, just a little bit. I ain't gonna do you wrong while you're gone. I ain't gonna do you wrong, 'cause I don't wanna. All I'm asking is for a little respect when you come home. Just a little bit, baby. Just a little bit at home. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm out to give it all my money. And all I'm asking in return, honey, is to give me my propers when you get home. Just a little bit. When you get home. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Ooh, your kisses, sweeter than honey. And guess what? So is my money. All I want you to do for me is give it to me when you get home. Yeah, baby, whip it to me when you get home. Now, just a little bit. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, T-F-T-C-B. Suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me, little rich say. Suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me. Woo, hey, little rich say. Just a little bit. I'll get tired. Keep on trying. Just a little bit. You're running out of food. And I ain't lying. Just a little bit. Please stop when you come home. Or you might walk in and find out I'm gone. Just a little.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 7:06. You're listening to WSKB 89.5 FM radio for the Westfield masses. It is Wednesday, July 3rd, day before the big holiday starts, and a lot of you are taking a long weekend. So I would just say be very mindful of traffic and just being very safe on the roads. Also, we have a lot of people out there biking. We have a lot of motorcycles out there right now because the weather's so warm and balmy. It is it's muggy out today, but just please be careful. We know that today, the day before the 4th, and especially since the 4th is on a Thursday, a lot of people are taking Friday off. Today's going to be a very big travel day, so please just be careful and stay safe, and watch for pedestrians and the kiddos out there, playing ball and so forth. So behind the glass is producer Pete Cole. So good morning again, Pete.
Good morning.
So Pete, July is National Anti-Boredom Month.
Okay.
So this is really kind of interesting, and I think it sort of fits in with our, with our health and wellness theme of the show. National Anti-Boredom Month during July encourages us to identify what makes us bored and find ways to combat it. July was selected, according to the founder, Alan Karuba, because after July 4th, oftentimes there's not much going on and it's the hotter part of the summer break from school. But that's no excuse to experience boredom during July. When fending off boredom, it's important to know what the symptoms are and why we get bored. Often we associate being bored with having nothing to do, but that's not always the case. Many times we have plenty of things to do or are even doing them, but the task at hand does not stimulate our minds. It may be repetitive or not challenging enough. When this happens, we can become irritable, tired, or begin to not care about how well we do a task. We may also seek out stimulation to relieve the boredom. Depending on what we seek, it may be good for us or bad for us. We can form good habits or bad addictions. So here are some methods for observing National Anti-Boredom Month. Find creative and healthy ways to beat boredom that will improve our everyday lives. Once we've identified our causes, approach boredom with a set of positive challenges or stimuli to keep it at bay. So here are some ideas, and this is really for people of any age because, we often hear that from kids. I'm bored. There's nothing to do.
Sure,
so
yeah.
some of this, certainly applies to them, but, adults can go through the same type of thing. So first of all, play. Board games are an excellent way to fight boredom. There are a lot of family board games, get out the board games and do it as a family. Get physical. Exercise not only provides stimuli, but also helps change scenery and improve health. And if you can't think of anything else to do, go for a walk. It's great exercise.
Makes sense.
We live in Westfield. We have wonderful resources. You've got Stanley Park. So if it's hot, there are plenty of parts in the park that are shaded. If you're able to, and you want to do the trail walks, just be careful. There are some roots and stones and things like that, but there are, it's all clearly marked. So go up to Stanley Park and take advantage. Learn. Go visit a museum. Read a book. Take a class. I mean, there are lots of things going on. I would refer people to the Penny Saver because a lot of what's available in Westfield is either low cost or free. We have a wonderful children's museum. Take advantage of the children's museum.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's in the summertime. It's air conditioned in there, and it's just a great resource that we have. And, not every city or town has a children's museum, folks, so take advantage. Clean. We talked in June a lot about, especially at the senior center, we talked about downsizing in place and tackling, you can tackle a cluttered cupboard or a closet, your garage. But if you're going to do your garage, do it around the weather. So you'll need to get out there either first thing in the morning, early on, and just, take a couple hours before it gets too hot, or later in the day when it's a little bit cooler. But, you can really look around and there's satisfaction for a job that's well done. And, it's interesting, Pete, I had one of my seniors came to me last week, and he said to me, Tina, he attended the downsizing in place workshop that we did at the senior center.
Yep.
He said, I started out with a bang. I was, working on closets and drawers and so forth. He said, and then I went away for a week. And he said to me last week, he said, I came back and he said, I'm just kind of like, ugh. He said, I lost my momentum. So I said
it
to
can
him,
also get overwhelming, too.
it does. And so I said to him, I'll tell you what. I said, I want you to just take a drawer. Just focus on like one small thing, either one drawer or one shelf in a closet or a cupboard or in the garage or in the basement. Just like one thing.
Right.
I said, and he talked to me like on Monday. I said, I want you to come back to me on Friday, but I want you to have done that one thing. Because one thing about that we talked about during the downsizing in place workshop is that once you get started, it really starts to take on a life of its own and you build that momentum. So I said, I think if you could just take on one small thing, just do a drawer, even if it's for an hour, then you open it and it's like, hey, wow, that looks great. And it gives you the incentive to go on. Do you know he came back to me at the end of the week and he said, it worked. He said, I did a drawer yesterday. He said, all right, I'm back on track. So,
Oh, really?
Yes. So there you go. That's another anti-boredom task. Also, volunteer. Helping someone who needs something more than you often makes us reassess why we were bored in the first place. I mean, and I think, in this day and age, you name it, we all need volunteers. The schools need volunteers. The senior center needs volunteers. The libraries, we just talked about the Children's Museum.
Yep.
All of those. Wow. I mean, we have so many nonprofit organizations here in the city. We can all use volunteer help. So get out there and volunteer. Get social. If you're bored, visit a friend, visit a neighbor. And kids, that includes you. Aunts or uncles or cousins, they'd enjoy a friendly conversation over an ice cold popsicle. If you can't do it in person, pick up the phone. It's not all about texting. It's, sometimes it's just nice to hear a voice. So especially for you children, call your grandparents. Call your aunts and uncles, touch base with your cousins. So those are all ways to tackle boredom during July National Anti-Boredom Month. And as we progress through this hour, as we always do, Pete, when I have some time to do this, we have lots of things in Westfield to do. And, Pete and I have said this before. If you're bored in Westfield, there is something wrong because there are so many things going on, and it doesn't have to be a holiday weekend for us to have things going on in Westfield. I mean, we have musical things going on. We have things for children. We have things for older adults. We have things for everybody in between. So we'll talk more about that as we go through this last hour. But anyway, so here we are celebrating July National Anti-Boredom Month. So we're going to give you lots of resources for that on activities and programs that are upcoming. We'll do when we come back after this break. We'll start with the Senior Center. Our July newsletter just came out. And we're still getting it out on the streets. We were a little bit slower this time, and it was so late. The last Saturday in June came so late in the month, but we have lots of stuff going on. So we'll talk about that when we come back, and then also some things going on around the city. It is 7:14. You're listening to WSKB 89.5 FM. Radio for the Westfield Masses. This song is in honor of the birthday of Judith Durham, who is the lead singer for the Australian group The Seekers. And this one is I'll Never Find Another You.
There's a new world somewhere they call the promised land, and I'll be there someday if you will hold my hand. I still need you there beside me, no matter what I do, for I know I'll never
Community Radio and WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Underwriting is brought to you by Boise Cascade Distribution, providing products and services needed for building material dealers, home improvement centers, and industrial customers. They offer everything from engineered wood and plywood to Drex decking and railing, James Hardy siding, and Advantech subfloor. Located at 33 Fowler Street Extension in Westfield and on the web at bc.com. They are committed to providing quality products, great service, convenience, and value.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com, offering Xfinity TV, Internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at Xfinity.com.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. You know, Pete, I'm looking at this backdrop that I have here, so I'm like broadcasting from a meadow. That's what it looks like. You're listening to WSKB 89.5 FM, radio for the Westfield masses. My name is Tina Gorman. I'm your Wake Up Wednesday host, and we are broadcasting live from Westfield Technical Academy, Studio 120. This will be our new home, right,
Yes,
Pete?
correct.
This is our new home for both radio as well as for Channel 15.
Correct, yep.
So we are...
This is the new home of Channel 15, period.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. This is the new home of Channel 15. So we're hoping that now that we've moved in here, that the powers that be will help Pete to get the studio finished, because it's kind of looking like it's still a little under construction. But what you can see of it, it looks great.
Yep.
What I can see of it, we need a little construction going on. And
Yes.
Pete's waiting for some shelving, but other than that, we're...
Yeah, everything's kind of in one room, so I can
Yes.
secure it for the night every night,
Yes.
and then I have to. I can't put stuff in the other room that still needs to be finished because I don't want to.
Right.
He needs the room to work.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's a catch-22.
Yes, and it's a process, as we know.
Yeah,
we've all
absolutely.
done this kind of thing. So, but anyway, thank you for the backdrop, Pete. So we have this Wake Up Wednesday, sun rising, and I really like
This one
that.
belongs to Kenny, but I thought it fit you better.
Well, thanks, Kenny. We just stole that.
We've absconded with it.
We have run away with it. So, okay, so we're going to talk, since it's anti-boredom month, July's anti-boredom month, I'm going to give at least all the we'll start with the older adults, no reason for you to be bored during the month of July. So, first of all, the Voice of Experience newsletter has come out. It is at the Senior Center. Where is it? There it is. I'm still trying to figure out there we go. Okay, so it is at the Senior Center. It is, thank you to Barbara Coleman and to Donna Schaefer. Donna has now started driving Barbara around to deliver the newsletters because we reach far and wide. So the Voice of Experience newsletter is all over the place. And of course, thank you to the Westfield News Group and Patrick Berry for publishing this for us. For those of you who don't know, the new newsletter comes out on the last Saturday of every month. It's an insert into the Westfield News. And then that following Monday morning, it is available online on the city website. If you just, under departments, go to Council on Aging, and that will pull up you can pull up the latest edition of the newsletter. And then it's all over the place. We have it in pharmacies, doctor's offices, at Bay State Noble Hospital, the YMCA, so all over the place. So get your copy because there are all kinds of things going on. So first of all, our big party in July is coming up next week, folks. It is our annual ice cream splurge. This is hosted by Visiting Angels, and I thank Joe Arduino, who who is the I guess it's like a franchise, Visiting Angels, because it's national, and Joe
Yes, it
has
is.
Joe has
Yeah.
the one here in the greater Springfield area. So anyway, the party is Thursday, July 11th. And we always do a very simple menu because, this is the focus is dessert, of course. It's it's a hot fudge ice cream sundae with all the fixins. And it's like a whole table full. We set up a 6-foot table with toppings and fixings. A couple of years ago, we've been doing this. I mean, Joe Arduino and the Visiting Angels have been sponsoring the ice cream splurge, and they actually come down and work the event. I mean, it's not like they send over the ice cream and say, okay, here you go, we'll pay for the ice cream. They actually participate in this, which is so fun. I mean, it's Joe and usually a couple of his staff members. They put on their aprons and they're scooping and, all the whole deal. So this event has become bigger and bigger at the senior center. And Joe said he does this at other places. And at other places, Pete, it's kind of an ice cream social.
Yeah.
People gather and they have some ice cream. But of course, in Westfield, we have to do it bigger and better. So we have a whole big party. And a few years ago, we started with entertainment because I thought, what's a party without entertainment? So this year, our entertainers will be Brad Shepard and his talented and lovely daughter, Meryl. And I'm really excited that they're going to do this together because Brad entertained, I think he was at our Wacky Tacky Westfield Day when we kind of celebrated
That
the
suits Brad,
350th.
yeah.
Right? And he loved that. He was there with Richie Mitnick. That was back in March. And that was the first time that Brad he's kind of doing the, getting into the entertainment gig. So that was the first time he had been at the senior center with Richie. They loved him. I had really positive feedback, and the seniors asked me if I would get him back. And I said, of course I will. So I threw this out to Brad and I said, we have this ice cream social coming up. It's a huge event. The seniors really love it. I know it will sell out. Would you like to entertain? And I had sent the email to both Brad and Richie Mitnick because they're a team, they sort of do it together. Well, Richie wrote back right away and said, oh, Tina, I'm really sorry. I'm not going to, that date doesn't work for me. So I thought, oh, well, I got to find somebody different. Brad emailed me back and said, I'll do it. And he said, how about if my daughter does it with me? And he said, we can, don't worry about the music. We have all of that, set. And so I said, God, that's fantastic, because I had the pleasure of listening to Brad perform with his daughter Meryl at the Majestic Theater probably about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And they sang, Brad sang some songs on his own, but Meryl sang some with him. And the two of them opened up together singing Something Stupid, which was the Frank and Nancy Sinatra song.
Sure,
duo.
yeah. Yep.
They sounded, Brad and Meryl, it is absolutely gorgeous. It rivals the Frank Sinatra, Nancy Sinatra version of the song. And it's so funny because every time I hear that song, you don't hear it that often.
Right.
Usually when I hear it, I'm in Big Y, so they must have like a playlist, and periodically,
on the Muzak loop.
Yeah, exactly, on the Muzak loop. You're absolutely right, Pete. And it's so funny because every time I hear it, it's like I stop what I'm doing and I text Brad and I say, "Guess what song I'm hearing, playing right now?" And it is beautiful, but it's not as beautiful as your version with Meryl. So I promise that they will sing Something Stupid at the Ice Cream Splurge next week. But anyway, the tickets are $5. They go on sale Tuesday, July 2nd. They went on sale yesterday at 9 a.m. And folks, if you want tickets, we are 3/4 of the way sold out. And the newsletter just hit the streets really Saturday, and then Barbara didn't get them delivered till yesterday because she was on a trip with the Whip City Travelers on Monday. So we had done some internal advertising at the senior center to let especially our regulars know that this was coming up, because again, this always sells out. So please, if you're interested, the date for the Ice Cream Splurge is Thursday, July 11th. It's a week from tomorrow. Entertainment begins at 11 o'clock. Tickets are $5. You may purchase no more than 4 tickets per person. We'll have music. We'll have a 50-50 drawing. Obviously, the ice cream is the central focus. But if you want tickets, folks, please get over to the Senior Center today, because I really don't think we'll have any tickets left after today. I'm betting we'll be
Next
sold
week,
out.
after the popularity of Joe's show about the restaurants around the Congamon Lake,
Okay.
we're doing an ice cream summit at Moolicious. We're taping for his July show.
So that is going to be pretty wonderful.
Yeah, all the local guys are going to get together and talk ice cream.
Excellent. And so now when is that going to air?
That would be his normal week, which is the third.
Okay.
The third Wednesday.
Okay. Very good. From 8 to 9.
Yeah.
8 to 9.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Also at the Senior Center, something new. Now, if you're bored, because this is National Anti-Boredom Month, here is something we are calling all acoustic guitar players. So if you play the acoustic guitar, if you'd like to share techniques, songs, instrumentals, or just jam with other guitar players, we're starting a group beginning next Wednesday, July 10th. You're going to join Larry O'Brien. This was his brainstorm idea on Wednesday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. in the Creativity Center for some informal jam sessions. Blues, folk, jazz, any styles welcome. We're not doing instruction. We're not doing guitar instruction. This is just a jam session. So if you would like to sign up for the first session, just contact Mary Lou over at the Senior Center at 562-6435. Just so that, if we end up with 40 people, we'll have to move you into the great room. So that's the only reason we need people to sign up, is just so we know how many of you there will be. But otherwise, it'll be very informal. We're just going to try this out. This was Larry O'Brien's idea, and so we'll see how it flies.
When that one gets rolling, maybe I'll shoot one of those.
Okay. Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, just very, very informal. So there you go. Also at the Senior Center, this is going to take place a little bit later in the month, July 23rd and July 24th. This is kind of in combination with each other, but we are going to be breaking the silence on the topic of urinary incontinence, because it's one of those things, people whisper it. Oh, I've got a problem with incontinence. It's kind of embarrassing. They don't want to talk about it out loud, but it is a prevalent problem among seniors. And, there are a lot of ramifications of incontinence. And one of them is that people have a tendency to isolate themselves because, first of all, incontinence is treatable. And a lot of people don't know that. And so, they end up, they don't go out. They don't want to do things with their grandchildren. This is a problem. So our nurse, Mary Ellen Asher, who is at the Senior Center on Tuesday and Friday mornings from 9 to 12, 9 to noon, is going to be doing an educational session on Tuesday, July 23rd from 9:30 to 10:30 called Urinary Incontinence, Breaking the Silence. So she's going to really lead a frank discussion about the symptoms, the causes, the risk factors, and the treatments involved in urinary incontinence. So we are asking you to sign up at the Senior Center. You can either just sign up at the greeter's desk, or you can call in at 562-6435. And the problem with incontinence is that it increases a person's risk for things like skin infections, rashes, sores, and also for UTIs, or urinary tract infections, which can really be devastating for older adults. So we're going to tackle that problem. We're going to deal with it. We're going to put it out in the open. We did this one other time when we were at the old Senior Center, and I literally had people coming out of the woodwork. And it was really great that people just felt like, it's no different than diabetes or, asthma or anything else. I mean, it's a physical problem, and again, there are treatments. And the following day, which is Wednesday, July 24th from 10 to 2 in the Wellness Center, we're going to have an incontinence supplies giveaway. We have, I don't know where we got all these donations, but we just have a whole storage room filled with incontinence supplies. We have pads, we have the pull-up style, Depend style underwear in various sizes. We have wraparounds. We have poise pads. We have all kinds of incontinence supplies. So the day after Mary Ellen does the program, we're going to do an incontinence supply giveaway. It'll be a 4-hour, giveaway. We'll empty out our shelves and really try to help people stock up on some supplies, because one thing about incontinence supplies, they are expensive, and we know that. So for those of you who, and some people just need them just as sort of an extra precaution if they are going out. Some people just need them at night. Some people need them, more than that. But anyway, if we can help out, I don't want supplies that are donated to us sitting in a storage room when people can be utilizing them. So that's going to be at the end of this month. So that will be July 23rd for the program that Mary Ellen will do, and July 24th for the giveaway. But also, folks, you don't have to wait till the 24th of July. I mean, we have people coming and picking up supplies all the time, and that's fine. It's part of our medical equipment loan program is our incontinence supply giveaway. And while I'm talking about our nurse, Mary Ellen Asher, again, I just want a shout out to Ron Bryan and the folks at Bay State Noble Hospital because Mary Ellen Asher, our nurse, is a gift from the hospital. She's actually an employee of Bay State Health, and they have given her to us for 6 hours a week, and we truly appreciate that. And I made sure that the city councilors, when we were doing the budget hearings, that the finance committee knew that that was a position that is funded through the hospital, so the city doesn't have to pay for it. So thank you to Bay State Noble Hospital. It is 7:32. You're listening to WSKB 89.5 FM radio for the Westfield masses. When we come back, we will talk some more about a few other things at the Senior Center, but then we have lots of stuff going on around the city to combat Anti-Boredom Month.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 7:37. You're listening to WSKB 89.5 FM radio for the Westfield Masses. It is Wednesday, July 3rd. My name is Tina Gorman. I'm your Wake Up Wednesday host, and I am in Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy. Yep. And behind the board and behind the glass where I can't see him is producer Pete Coles. Good morning, Pete. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I hear the voice. Okay, so a couple other things going on at the Senior Center, and then we're going to branch out to some other things going on around the city, especially upcoming the next week or so. We have started our Westfield Intergenerational Theater production of Flashbacks. So the casting has been set for the senior side. This is an intergenerational program. It is funded, by the way, through the Westfield Cultural Council, with additional funding from the Friends of the Westfield Senior Center. So thank you to both of those groups. This is the brainchild of Steve Henderson, who is directing. He also wrote the show, and he has been wanting to do this. I think this is a pilot. He hasn't done an intergenerational yet. So we're doing this in cooperation and conjunction and collaboration with the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield.
Cool.
So the way this works is, so the senior side has been cast, and they have started rehearsals. And then the Boys and Girls Club will have the kids doing their rehearsals. And then next week, the rehearsals come together and they do them jointly at the Senior Center in preparation for the production, which will be in 2 weeks on July 19th. So we'll have two performances, 1:30 and 4:30 on July 19th. So the tickets, there are a limited number of free tickets that are available at the greeter's desk to Senior Center members on a first-come, first-served basis, and that will be they will be distributed beginning this morning, July 3rd. So there's a limit of 4 tickets per person. So we'll be doing the tickets for the seniors, and then the Boys and Girls Club will be handling the tickets for the families of the children that will be involved. So we're excited about this. Yeah, we're really excited about this. This is the name of the show is Flashbacks, so you can kind of get the gist of it, kind of taking, because we had to figure out how do you get young and old together. So anyway, rehearsals are underway, and the performance is 2 performances Friday, July 19th. The other announcement that I wanted to make, and I'm excited about this is a collaboration between the Senior Center and Westfield Community Education. So Jane Toomey, who has done a number of computer literacy and keyboarding skills classes for Westfield Community Education, is going to do a course at the Senior Center this summer. So the classes will be held from 9:30 to 11:30 on July 29th and 31st and August 5th and 7th. So it's a 4-session course. Each session is 2 hours, and so it's 8 hours total. You do have to register in advance. There's no charge for this, but the space is limited because it'll be 8 people in the class. So the course will provide computer technology education, and it's intended for participants to experience success with the acquisition of basic computer literacy and keyboarding skills. Students will receive individual attention in a group setting in the Learning Center. So if you are interested in this, obviously we have a very limited number, 8 students, that's it. So you need to register in advance, call us at the Senior Center or visit the greeter's desk and just let them know that you're interested in the computer literacy class. So this is obviously a very beginning type of course. So if you want to call us, it's 562-6435, or if you're a regular at the Senior Center, or if you're not a regular, you just want to come to the Senior Center, you can sign up in person, and then you can take a little tour of the center if you've never been there before.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so that's really cool. We're really excited to offer that. A lot of people have asked us, and of course we do also offer one-on-one computer tutorials. We have 2 people now doing that. Bruce Bonzel does it, and Bruce is taking the summer off, but we also have Michael Favreau, who's also doing it. Michael is not taking the summer off, so you still have the option also of signing up for a one-on-one. That's for those who are a little bit more experienced and just have some specific questions about whether it's computer, email, how to set that up, those kinds of things. But if you have no experience and you just, you don't know how to turn it on, that would be the keyboard and literacy class. That's the 4-session course. So things to think about. All right, before we take a break, I want to do we're gonna get into what's going on around Westfield. So reminder that every Thursday we have the farmers market. That started in May and will go until mid-October, noon to 6 p.m. It's at the Episcopal Church of the Atonement, which is located at 36 Court Street. It's across the street, down and across the street from City Hall. Locally grown and organic fresh fruits and vegetables, eggs, baked goods, relishes, syrup, honey, goat products, fresh made donuts, jellies and jams, flowers, cider, wine, crafters, live music. I mean, come on, what's not to love? And it's interesting, Pete. I had someone who said to me, there's a whole group from the Arbors, because it's right next door to the farmers market, who go over to the farmers market on Thursday afternoons. And somebody said, well, why do you go to the farmers market? Your meals are provided at the Arbors. And they said, well, there are all these other things going on there. First of all, there's music. People watch. We run into people that we know. So it's a social event for us. There are crafters there. Mm-hmm. So, and now
Harry Rock is performing on July 4th,
I did not know that.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Also at the farmers market will be the Department of Children and Families will be set up there with information about the foster care program, and the Westfield Cultural Council will also have a table. So the other thing that they've started doing is rotating in and having local nonprofits there just as an information table. So
okay,
I think
makes sense.
and I think that's a really great idea, because again, you've got this sort of captive audience. You've got lots of different people coming to that venue, and so it's an opportunity for some of the organizations that are local organizations to just tell you what they do and provide some information. Also new is a fabulous basket weaver from Ghana. Her name is Justine Biney. She is now joining the farmers market and will be selling her beautiful hand woven baskets. So lots of stuff going on at the farmers market.
Very cool.
Harry Rock included, so that's kind of fun. So they're doing it they're doing it tomorrow on July 4th?
Yeah, they're going to do it on July 4th, yeah.
Perfect. All right. Music. Oh, it's 7:45. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some musical concerts coming up. A reminder that Stanley Park has their guided walks on Thursday, so we'll talk about that when we come back. The last song, as you know, was Gloria by Laura Branigan in honor of her birthday. This song I wanted to do kind of a patriotic sort of 4th of July, feel good about America. This one is Rockin' the USA by John Mellencamp.
Come from the cities and they come from the smaller towns. Beat up cars with guitars and drummers go crack, boom, bam. R-O-C-K in the USA, R-O-C-K in the USA, R-O-C-K in the USA, yeah. Rockin' in the USA.
The problems in their heads and very little money in their hands. Some are black and some are white, and they ain't too proud to sleep on your floor tonight. The blind faith in Jesus, you know that they just might. Rockin' in the USA. Voices from nowhere and voices from the larger town. Filled our head full of dreams and turned our world upside down. There was Frankie Lyman, Bobby Fuller, Mitch Ryder. They were rockin'. Jackie Wilson, Shangri-La's Young Rascal. They were rockin'. Spotlight on Martha Reeves. Let's don't forget James Brown. Rockin' in the USA. Hey! R-O-C-K in the USA. 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 R-O-C-K in the USA.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Underwriting is brought to you by Boise Cascade Distribution, providing products and services needed for building material dealers, home improvement centers, and industrial customers. They offer everything from engineered wood and plywood to Drex decking and railing, James Hardy siding, and Advantech subfloor. Located at 33 Fowler Street Extension in Westfield and on the web at bc.com, they are committed to providing quality products, great service, convenience, and value.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com, offering Xfinity TV, Internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at Xfinity.com.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 7:50. You're listening to WSKB 89.5 FM radio for the Westfield masses. It is Wednesday, July 3rd. My name is Tina Gorman. I'm your Wake Up Wednesday host, and I'm joined at the Studio 120 Westfield Technical Academy campus by Pete Coles, the producer. Good morning again, Pete. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, but I'm talking to Dennis too.
I know. I can hear some of the voices going on out there, so I wasn't sure if you had your mic on. All right, so July is National Anti-Boredom Month, and I am here to tell you how you can avoid boredom in Westfield during the month of July. So here we go. If you are a child, and if you are a parent or a grandparent and you need to take your child someplace to avoid boredom, I have a perfect solution for you.
Are you talking about something at Stanley Park?
I am. Friday mornings for children at Stanley Park. Performances held in the Beverage Pavilion Annex on Friday mornings at 10 o'clock. Weather permitting, free of charge. chairs are provided. And I'm so excited because this Friday is the kickoff. It's July 5th.
Yep.
The performer is, I can personally attest to how wonderful this man is. He has performed at the Senior Center, believe it or not. He's really intergenerational. So I can promise that not only will the kids love this, but the parents and the grandparents will love it as well. It's Tom Stankus. His nickname is T-Bone, and he's presenting T-Bone's Tropical Adventure at Stanley Park this Friday at 10 a.m. Spend an imaginary day with T-Bone for a tropical adventure. In this show, you will learn how opening a book can open your imagination and take you on an incredible journey. A special book can paint a picture in your mind, introduce you to new ideas, and maybe even change your life. In this highly participatory program, T-Bone will whisk you away on a fun-filled tropical adventure with the use of songs, stories, instruments, games, and visual aids. I cannot tell
cool.
you how great this program is. It's a treat. And again, this is multi-generational, very participatory. Your kids will love it. They will absolutely love it. So that's at Stanley Park this Friday. Next Tuesday, July 9th, for Amelia Park for their Ice Arena Presents Musical Moments at Amelia's Garden. Those are free concerts. Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. and July 9th will be the Agawam Melody Band, and that will be music from the 1930s and 40s. So that will be a really good concert. Bring your lawn chair. You can enjoy the beautiful flowers and the sunset. In the event of inclement weather, the concert will be held inside the ice arena, so just make sure that you bring a hoodie or a sweatshirt or a fleece or a sweater or something that'll keep you a little warm if the weather is rainy or thundery or whatever. They're just going to move it inside. Boredom while you're in Westfield. And how about this one? Open mic begins on July 19th. That will be on the green. This is, I think, is this the third year, Pete, that they're doing the open mics?
I believe you're correct. Yeah, I believe it's the third year.
They'll be held on Wednesday evenings. Sign-ups start at 6 p.m. and the performances begin at 6:30 p.m. Microphones, acoustic guitar plugins, and a sound system are provided. The performances must include an instrument. This is not just, vocal and bring your soundtrack. It has to include an instrument. Performers of all ages are welcome. Bring a lawn chair, bring a blanket. You can perform. You can just listen. Again, you can walk around the green, get your exercise, and listen to some great music on Wednesday evenings. If you would like additional information on the open air night, you can contact Tom Sawyer at 237-5563. Again, that's Tom Sawyer at 237-5563. But that's also in the Penny Saver. So if you need
Danny tells me
information-
that open mics already started.
It already did.
Yeah.
Okay, they have it starting on July 19th, but hey, what the heck?
No,
so
they're already going.
I'm going to guess then it's going
Our research
tonight.
department goes again.
Danny Nason?
Yeah.
Danny, our avid listener, Danny Nason. Danny, you
call
are
him-
so on top of things.
I credit him as the research department.
I have two in my research department. Danny is one, and Barbara Coleman is my other one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, okay. Also, a reminder, guided walks around Stanley Park on Thursday mornings from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. They are going on all summer. Let's see. Walks will be held. I take that back. I guess they finished up last week. All right. So much. But I will check with Hillary McEwen just to make sure that that they're not doing that. Also, I thought this was really interesting. There's a basic EMT course that's going to be offered in downtown Westfield. It's offered through the Greater Westfield and Western Hampden County Medical Reserve Corps. Our good friend Ed Mello is doing this. It will be held at the Episcopal Church of the Atonement. The program dates are July 9th through December 12th. So this is a big, program. This is an EMT course. The classes will be held on Tuesday and Friday evenings from 6 to 10 p.m. and one Saturday a month from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The mission statement is to educate and train entry-level basic EMTs in provision of high-quality EMS services according to current national EMS education standards, state, regional, and local protocols, Policies, and Procedures. There are 36 seats available for this course. So if you are either interested or required by your job to have some, basic EMT training, it sounds like this is the course for you. If you have questions, you'll want to email the course director, Ed Mello. His email address is emello, MELLOJR, so emello jr. at comcast.net. And again, I believe this one was either in the Westfield News or in the Penny Saver, but there's a pretty good size ad for this, so I think we're really trying to spread the word on that. But that's a great resource to be able to take this course right here in downtown Westfield. So, but it does start on July 9th, so you want to sign up for that as quickly as possible. Also, I thought this was pretty interesting, too, since this is Wake Up Wednesday is all about health and wellness. The Breast Care Center at Mercy Medical Center has added a bra fitting service for women who have undergone a mastectomy or a lumpectomy. The service is provided by Mary Aframe, who is a certified mastectomy fitter, who can also help women select prosthetic devices. Mary also offers a custom prosthesis using a 3D scanning technique. Light and comfortable, this custom-made prosthesis fits the shape of the individual's chest wall. So if you are interested in this, and this is something that would be helpful to you, you can schedule an appointment, or you can learn more about the bra and prosthesis fitting services. You want to contact the Breast Care Center at Mercy Medical Center, and that number is 452-6600. Again, 452-6600. And again, on this, July National Anti-Boredom Month, I'm going to leave you with this. Now, this is upcoming in August, so this is just a little teaser for what's coming down the road. But the Westfield Rotary Club is going to be sponsoring their Food Fest 2019. The dates for that will be Friday and Saturday, August 23rd and 24th. So I'm going to let you, get that on your calendar. The event will begin 5 o'clock on Friday the 23rd and go from 5 until 10, and then on Saturday from noon until 9 p.m. The Food Fest will feature nonstop entertainment with local bands performing on 2 stages. But they have some new activities this year. They're adding a climbing wall provided by the Boy Scout Council of Western Massachusetts. And there will also be games at the south end of Elm Street after 3 o'clock on Saturday, including the ever-popular cornhole, which is at pretty much at every picnic that I've gone to this summer.
Yeah.
They're also bringing back the classic car show, and I'm really happy about that because they did it, and then I think they didn't do it last year.
I don't think they could get it together in time.
Well, they're bringing it back, and I'm really
Gotcha.
and the reason that I'm so excited about that is because personally, first of all, I think they're just a lot of fun, but also I know my seniors absolutely loved the car show. It's just the old cars, so that will go from noon until 3 o'clock on Saturday. And also this year, the club will stage a complimentary wine tasting on both nights from 6 to 9 p.m. adjacent to the South Stage. So lots of things to look forward to, even in August, even getting into August. So folks, remember, July is National Anti-Boredom Month, and I've just given you 45 minutes worth of things to do in Westfield during the month of July. I'm going to sign out. I'm turning it over to Denny Akins and Mayor Brian Sullivan for their show coming up at 8 o'clock. I thank you for joining me. Please remember, this is a holiday weekend. This is going to be the most traveled day of the weekend today, Wednesday, July 3rd. So please drive safely, drive carefully, be careful of motorcycles, bicyclists, runners, kids playing ball, and so forth. Stay safe out there. Have a wonderful 4th of July holiday.
Up every morning just to keep a job. Gotta fight my way through the hustling mob. Sounds of the city pounding in my brain while another day goes down the drain. But it's a 5 o'clock world when the whistle blows. No one owns a piece of my time. There's a 5 o'clock me inside my clothes, thinking that the world looks fine, yeah. Yodelay, oh. on money that I ain't made yet. Gotta keep going, gotta make my way, but I live for the end of the day. 'Cause it's a 5 o'clock world when the whistle blows. No one owns a piece of my time, and there's a long-haired girl who waits, I know, to ease my troubled mind. Yeah, yodelay-oo-wee-oh. Yodelay-oo-wee-oh. In the shelter of her arms, everything's okay. She talks and the world goes slipping away. I know the reason I can still go on when every other reason is gone. 'Cause in my 5 o'clock world, she waits for me. Nothing else matters at all. 'Cause every time my baby smiles at me, I know that it's all worthwhile. Yeah, yodelay-oo-wee-oh.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by